Okay, when I first saw Cane's owner buying Trailblazers, I legit thought Raising Cane's fried chicken was making bank. Like, damn, that sauce must be hidden different. Turns out, it's the Carolina Hurricanes owner. And honestly, the more I dug into this Tom Dundon guy, the cooler this whole story gets. So picture this. It's a slow August day, and Sportico drops the news that the Trailblazers just sold for a valuation of $4.25 billion. Cool. Whatever. Another billionaire buying another team. But then you realize, this dude also owns the Carolina Hurricanes. Look at their logo. Now look at the Blazers logo. They're the same logo. Red and black swirling vortex. My man really said, I like that spinny thing, and bought it twice. I'm your host Kyle, and welcome to Basketball Business, where we uncover the money moves behind the hardwood. If you enjoy these types of breakdowns, hitting those like and subscribe buttons really helps me out. It tells YouTube this type of content is worth recommending to you, helps me make more great videos on the business side of basketball and push them directly to your feed. Now here's the thing. Everyone's asking if the Trailblazers are going to leave Portland. Everyone's freaking out about Tom Dundon being some ruthless owner. But after diving deep into this, Portland fans may have hit the jackpot. Let me explain to you why. The Portland Trailblazers had to be sold. Not wanted to be. Had to be. When then owner Paul Allen died in 2018, he left behind a $20 billion estate, literally the largest in American history. And his will said, sell everything and give it all to charity. His sister Jody, she's been running the team for 7 years, but she was never really the owner. Adam Silver himself said this is the strangest ownership situation he's ever seen in sports. She's technically just the executor of the estate. Can't keep the team, can't pass it to her kids, just managing it until she sells. Here's where Jody showed why she's in charge though. Phil Knight, the legendary founder of Nike, tried to buy the team in 2022. He made an offer worth over $2 billion. Jody straight up said no, didn't even try to negotiate. Everyone thought she was insane for doing that. But by waiting, she was able to time it perfectly. The new national TV deal, worth $77 billion, added billions to every franchise value. The Celtics just sold for over $6 billion, proving the market was hot. She basically doubled the price in 3 years just by doing nothing. That's some 5D underwater chess right there.
You know why I didn't take the job? Because it's too small! I don't care about it! It's nothing to me! It's a bacterium! I travel in worlds you can't even imagine! You can't conceive of what I'm capable of! I'm so far beyond you! I'm like a god in human clothing! Lightning bolts shoot from my fingertips!
Alright, let's dive into the new owner, Tom Dundon. You want to know how he made his dough? Well, obviously, it's in his name. He licensed the sound to Law & Order and gets 3 cents every time someone watches an episode. I'm kidding. He actually made it in the subprime auto loan industry, which is not as fun. But for real, this guy's story is wild. He goes to SMU and gets an economics degree. He opens up a burger joint after he graduates and it fails in less than a year. So now he's back to living with his mom in their 1-bedroom apartment with over 100 grand in debt. He hustles his way to a job at a car dealership, figures out how to give loans to people with bad credit before anyone else, builds a company, and sells it for hundreds of millions. And now, he's buying the Portland Trailblazers for a valuation of $4.25 billion and committing at least $637.5 million in cash out of his own pocket. Sports business titan Charlotte Jones Anderson from the Dallas Cowboys organization said something about Dundon that really stuck with me. He sees things differently and doesn't get emotional about his decisions. When he bought the Carolina Hurricanes, They hadn't made the playoffs in 9 years. He wasn't even originally looking at purchasing a hockey club. Dude tried to buy the Nets, the Rockets, the Panthers, and even some soccer team he says he forgot the name of. This guy really just wanted in on sports ownership. This probably explains him the best. I found this niche podcast where he's just sitting in his living room with wired Apple earbuds talking hockey. No fancy setup, no PR team. In that podcast, he said,
I mean, I assume like most guys that like sports or most people that like sports, if you get this opportunity, you're kind of supposed to take it, right?
That's refreshingly normal. He also stated his favorite player of all time is Steve Nash because he likes the smart floor general types. In today's NBA, where you can't hide a non-shooter anywhere, that tells you everything about how he'll build this roster.
Yeah, just picked up some fresh Adidas gear from Foot Locker. Look good, play good, right? The last thing I want to be is one of those guys that never won a ring.
Now let's get to the 800-pound gorilla in the room. Or should I say, the 800-pound supersonic. Look, people are freaking out about the Blazers potentially leaving Portland, even though news reports say this new ownership group intends to keep them in the area. Here's why I think they're being honest about that. First, Dundon kept the Hurricanes and Raleigh. He could have moved them to Charlotte. Bigger market, more money. Didn't do it. Actually, the fact that he kept the hockey team in Raleigh, North Carolina of all places, that's huge for Portland. Second, one of his investment partners is from Portland, Sheil Tile, whose wife runs the Oregon Health Authority. You don't bring in local investors if you're planning to bounce. Third, and this is key, the franchise sold the Moda Center to the city for a ceremonial price of $1. The land went for 7 million buckaroos. They've already started a public-private partnership for renovations with a lease through 2030 and an option to extend for 5 more years. The question isn't if they stay, it's what staying looks like. Because the Moda Center, it's the oldest arena in the NBA without major renovations done to it. And Dundon just dropped $800 million to renovate the area around Carolina's hockey arena into this massive entertainment district. Portland's got challenges though if they want to keep the team in the downtown area. The highway is right there. Nearby, Memorial Coliseum is historically protected. And there's a grain elevator business blocking expansion that won't sell. But this won't become a Clay Bennett 2.0 situation. We got a businessman who sees the Portland Trailblazers as an undervalued asset. They're one of 2 major professional sports teams in the entire state of Oregon. No MLB, no NFL, just them and the Timbers.
I'm not leaving. I'm not leaving. I'm not leaving!
Here's probably the most important thing Blazers fans need to understand about their new owner. If you only take one thing away from this video, take away this. Jerry Jones and Mark Cuban are his mentors. Tom Dundon has explicitly stated that he's not in the hockey business. He's in the entertainment business that uses hockey as a vehicle to push that entertainment. Here's a guy who understands how modern professional sports really work. Will he be cheap? Kind of, but not how you think. He'll spend to get players and probably go into the luxury tax when Portland is contending. But he'll cut costs everywhere else. Radio announcers? See ya. Unnecessary staff? Adios. But the encore product? That gets full investment. The Hurricanes went from laughingstock to conference finals in 2 out of the last 3 years. Every home game sells out now. The franchise value went up 443% under Tom Dundon's stewardship. Oh, and their rookie, Yang Hansen? That pick just became 1 million times more important. Let me put it in perspective for you. There are more basketball fans in China than there are people in America. Actually, scratch that. There are more basketball fans in China than there are people in the United States, Canada, and Mexico combined. We're talking about over 550 million hoops lovers that actively follow the NBA. You know what happened when Yao Ming played for the Rockets? Their valuation went from $255 million to $1.5 billion. The Rockets became China's team overnight. Every game was broadcast. Jersey sales went nuclear. Sponsorship deals came flooding in from companies you've never heard of, writing checks with more zeros than Kyle Kuzma's playoff stats. Now Portland just drafted Yang Hansen, 7'1", 18 years old. And here's the kicker, the kid could actually play. We're not talking about some vanity project who's tall and that's it. This dude's got handles, can shoot the three, and passes the rock like a guard. They call him Chinese Jokic. Dundon realizes all this. He's not thinking, oh cool, we got a tall guy. He's thinking, we just got exclusive access to the largest untapped market in sports. The timing couldn't have been more perfect. The NBA is desperately trying to rebuild their relationships in the Chinese market ever since that Daryl Morey tweet fiasco ended them in 2019. What better than to have a fresh new team with an exciting young prospect with zero political baggage leading the charge? Portland will definitely get a boost in streaming rights, sponsorship deals, and probably have preseason games in Shanghai and Beijing. Hell, Alibaba might end up on their jersey. The Blazers could easily go from the 23rd most valuable franchise to the top 10 just off the China connection alone. The league is going to cut up the revenue pie into two more parts by adding in expansion teams. But Tom Dundon is baking an entirely different pie. One he could serve in China, and one that will have Trailblazers fans across the world eating good.
I am the plug, cordless. Pull up with Blazers, Portland.
Portland, you just got an owner who turned a dead hockey franchise into a consistent winner, kept them in a very small market when he easily could have moved them, actually understands that sports are an entertainment business, has other successful owners in other sports as his mentors, and is committing at least $637.5 million to buy the team. Is he gonna fire some people you like? Probably. Make trades that piss you off? Definitely. But after years of running it back with first-round exits, maybe someone who doesn't get emotional about decisions is exactly what Portland needs. If I had a nickel for every time Tom Dundon bought a team with a red and black swirling vortex logo, I'd have 2 nickels, which isn't a lot, but it's weird it's happened twice, right? Thanks for watching this video on the Portland Trailblazers sale. Drop a like if you learned something new, and share it with that friend who's a Yang Hansen truther. Subscribe to Basketball Business for more deep dives on how off-court business decisions shape on-court basketball decisions. Until next time, this is Kyle with Basketball Business.